So you want to become a millionaire. So you watch all of the Tony Robbins seminars, you watch all these motivational videos. I mean, hey, you even think that your TikTok is a great place to get financial education. Well, listen up. In today's video, I'm going to share 7 personal money tips that I would give to you after 7 years of running a business and making tens of millions of dollars. And most importantly, I'm going to share stuff that you probably won't find anywhere else, because I'm not going to tell you, oh, don't buy Starbucks because, heavens forbid you spend $4 on a coffee because you can make it for 30 cents at home. I'm not going to give you any stupid scarcity-based advice that's built specifically for people that have no self-belief, no belief that they can actually go on and accomplish anything in life. No, I'm going to give you 7 practical things that you can and should implement from today. So the first step, if you want to become a millionaire, is stop drinking. Now, I actually have a funny story about my first ever tattoo. It says, "My cup runneth over." Now, my cup runneth over means I have more than I need. I'm abundant, but it always used to serve a fun double purpose, because in the first few years of starting my business, I was not drinking. Now, whenever someone tried to get me to drink or try to encourage me to drink, of course, I politely declined. And if it kept going, I used to joke with people that didn't know me. I went, "Listen, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I can't drink." And of course, because I was young, they're like, "You're lying, you're joking." And then I used to show them this tattoo. And I used to say, I have this tattoo that says, "My cup runneth over," because, my cup was always overflowing with alcohol. And it was funny because at that point, they would always get super apologetic. So anyways, the reason I tell you this story is just because it brings back memories of the first couple years of my business when I hadn't made $1 million yet. I hadn't made $1 million after tax. I wasn't a millionaire. And in that time, I did not drink for 2 reasons. First of all, think about how much money you have wasted, how much money you have spent on useless drinks at the bar, shots. So not only from a financial perspective, and I told you earlier in this video, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that people are so dumb to think, oh, you know how I'm gonna become a millionaire? I'm gonna save on my $4 coffee. It's honestly some of the stupidest shit I have ever heard, and I guarantee you any really high-level successful person will never give you advice like that. Whereas for alcohol, I would say don't spend money on it if you are trying to become the person that you want to become. Because listen, that's $4 compared to $40, $80, $150. Let's say you're having a fun night. You buy 5 cocktails for yourself, $15 a pop, great, $75. Let's say you cover it for your friend. You get a little drunk, you get a little woozy, and you're like, you know what? I'll get this one. Great, you've just wasted $150 on alcohol. And don't forget, you would have had to earn something closer to, depends on where you live, $200 to $250 in order to actually make that money, because the rest goes to tax. So not only have you spent all of this money on alcohol, you have then woken up with less capacity to think clearly and less capacity to actually make money and make your way to that millionaire status. Now, ladies and gentlemen, me at the stage that I'm at, I have a long track record in business. I have the most incredible team. Between all my companies, I have over 150 employees. So luckily, if I want to have a drink here and there, it doesn't really change my life and it doesn't really affect things. When you get to a certain position in life, that doesn't mean that you should ever slow down. You still need to put your foot on the gas. But what it does mean is that you can do things slightly differently. So if you are serious about becoming a millionaire this year, quit drinking. Now, the best tip to become a millionaire is learn a high income skill. And this is why I keep beating on about that example of the $4 coffee, because listen, people who are hell bent on the whole saving thing, for sure, I respect it. I just personally believe that I don't want to live a life of scarcity. I don't want to live a life where I don't have faith in my abilities to make more money. I think if you're watching this video, you should understand the goal is to make as much money as humanly possible. And by the way, that doesn't mean you need to be an entrepreneur. That doesn't mean you need to be a business owner. If you join the right organization, not some old corporation, some stale company that's 50 years old and all they care about is just doing things in a safe, predictable way. I mean, if you join a real good company, for example, there's people in my company who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, almost nearly $1 million a year, because they provide even far more value than that to the company. And the way that you do that is by learning a high income skill. So whether that be sales, whether that be copywriting, whether that be content creation, whether that be, and this sounds really funny, but I can tell you, as I said, having 150 plus employees, and there's one specific person that comes to mind. If you are a wizard at Google Sheets and you can put together very good analytics tracking, that is a high income skill. And that's something that is very valuable to most companies. So if you're a little confused on which high income skill is the best in this day and age, and which business model is the best one to start this year, well, then I'm going to leave a link in the description to my most popular YouTube video. I break down the 8 or 9 best business models and try to use an equation and math to come to a conclusion of which one makes the most sense for you to start. I use a formula and an equation to get to the bottom of which business model makes the most sense for you to start this year. So I'll go ahead and leave that link in the description. Check it out once you finish this video. But I feel like I made my point very clear, which is no matter what you do, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you own multiple big businesses with lots lots of employees like me, or you work in a company and you see a clear path to making a lot more money and you want to provide value to that company, which is why you are dedicated to learning high income and high impact skills. Whatever it is, just understand that it is far easier to get to millionaire status by increasing your earning potential rather than being scarcity minded and just thinking, oh, I'm gonna save my way. Over the next 17 years, I'm just gonna save my way to a millionaire. Is that really an inspiring life to you? Now, the next way to become a millionaire is have a